Okay, hey, this is Jamal with GospelMusicians.com, and we are very excited about this new update with Neo Keys version 1.2. This version is very huge, and it's a very big update, and so we're going to go over this update. Now, little information. Neo Keys was launched a little bit over maybe a month and a half ago. Neo Keys for the iPad. So Neo Keys for the iPad. We got some more stuff coming. Neo Keys for the iPad represents three different versions. The Neo Suitcase, which is a suitcase Mark 1. The Stage, which is a Mark 1 stage, a little dirtier. And we have the Whirly as well. So here we go. Neo Keys iOS for the iPad version 1.2. And so we're going to go over some of this stuff here on the updates. Okay, so the first thing we did, we got a more efficient algorithm of the chorus and the reverb. So our developers were able to go back and actually tweak a little bit of the chorus and the reverb so that the processor is not as much. So we got a chance to optimize the C code, optimize the code so that it doesn't take as much as the processor. We do realize that this is a very professional, very powerful sample library. We are one of the first people to offer real-time sample streaming using the Apple lossless format. So with that, the samples are big, and so we do realize that the iPad 2 may have some deficiencies. The iPad 1, you can totally forget about it. So pretty much the iPad 2, the iPad mini, the iPad 3 all fall in the same category. Even though the iPad 3 has a better processor, it has the Retina display, which adds to the processor, so it totally cancels it out. So for all intents and purposes, processor and speed, iPad 2, iPad mini, iPad 3 are all the same. So we optimize the chorus and the reverb and the tremolo and stuff to reduce the latency a little bit so you can get a little bit more out of it. All right, the second thing we did, we eliminated some MIDI bugs. And the MIDI is made more efficient. We do realize that there's some keyboards that just flood the floodgates full of MIDI information, and so some keyboards we tested didn't, some keyboards we tested did. So what we did, we allowed for extensive filtering of that information so that when you pop your keyboard up, it doesn't just flood the iPad with this extra information, therefore adding extra processor time. So we took care of that. All right. Now we also we added some MIDI dump information. Let me show you where that's at. Okay. If you go on the first screen and we go back. All right. Right here under settings. If for any chance you're having problems with Neo Keys, you go right here and you turn the debug on. When you turn the debug on, go right to the EP that you're having problems with, and you'll be able to go back and actually send the debug information to us, all right? And the debug information gives us important information to debug and to be able to, take care of any issues that we have. So we included some more information in that. We made sure that it had enough information that took care of a plethora of different circumstances, so we improved that, all right? So we can turn the debug on right here. After we turn the debug on, we have the ability to actually send the information. All right, so we did that. All right, latency slider. All right, this is what you've been looking for. This is per EP. So here's how the latency slider works. I go to settings. I'm using an iPad 5 right now. So we go to settings. All right. So we can take our latency down, and we actually can tell you the milliseconds. So we can take the latency as far down as 64. As you know, the lower the latency goes, it increases the CPU. So it's kind of a juggle. That's with any DAW, that's with any system. So it's kind of a juggle back and forth, but we did add that. So we can go as low as 64, and as you can see, 64 even on the iPad is just kind of ridiculous because that's very low latency and you're really increasing the processor. So what I found on the iPad 5, I can go as low as 64 is a little too low. I can go as low as about 288, 256, and I can do pretty good. You know, that's still a little low, but like I said, we can go pretty low on that, and so we're doing pretty good. 256 is still pretty low. Once again, it's a powerful unit, so we can get as low as that. We can go as high as you want to. So we do have a latency slider on here. So we have that. All right. Now, another thing that you guys were asking about is the MIDI channel filtering. If you go right here on the channel, all right, we can go channel 1. We can go channel all the way down to 16. We can go channel all. So the channel is able to, you're able to change the MIDI channel. If you got some complex setup, you got a top, bottom keyboard, side keyboards, and you want to be able to route to the particular channel, we have that option for you, okay? What's some of the other stuff? We got the latency slider. Enable and disable background noise. We do understand when your iPad goes into sleep mode, it actually disables. It actually is disabling the actual audio and background. So now we have it so that no matter what you do, even if you have another app up, even if you're in sleep mode, if you're docked, if you go into, actually let me show you. Let's turn this off here. We're still playing. We're still playing. So just wanted to show you that. So no matter what you do, we're still up. We're still going. All right. So I know you guys wanted that, and we actually did that. You can turn this on and turn this off. If you go back, you go to settings, you can background audio on, or you can turn it off. So you can disable and enable this particular feature. All right. So we're good to go there. All right. We also increased the sustain gain a little bit more, just to make sure that everything was done well. We also increased. Let's go to the release effects. Okay, this is your key up 1, key up 2, and your release. What we did with this. All right, let's turn this all the way down. Let's turn the release all the way up. All right, so so we got the releases going here. Now, the key, all right, you hear that? Now, the key to a release on an electromechanical instrument is that when you hold down the release and you hold down the notes, the release notes actually decay over time. So listen to this. Now listen when I hold it. 1, 2, 3. It actually decays over time. So this is loud, and let's really just isolate the release. So now let me hold it. See, it's a little less. And if I hold it for even longer, boom, 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 boom. It's almost down to nothing. And then hold it longer. So we really tweaked that out to make it very realistic, so that when you're hitting your keys and you hold your keys down, that the release is not super loud, because it decays over time. And we actually had to rework that equation using some old school y equals mx plus b equations back in high school, a little bit of algebra. So we're good there. All right. So the next thing also, we have virtual MIDI. I'm not able to show you that now because I don't have all of the stuff. But virtual MIDI allows you to MIDI through different iOS devices. So we have enabled virtual MIDI with Neo-So Keys version 1.2. Virtual MIDI will allow you to route a MIDI device or a MIDI out or a MIDI in from another iOS app through MIDI keys. I'm sorry, not MIDI keys, but Neo-So Keys. And Neo-So Keys is able to actually route MIDI back and forth between iOS devices. So we've added virtual MIDI with the Neo-So keys 1.2. Okay, so we added virtual MIDI, so we should be good with that. All right, so I know you guys were asking for that. Another thing we did when activating the actual presets, when you activated a preset, let's just add a preset here, test. All right, when you activated a preset, it used to be you activated it and it stayed up. Now when you activate a preset, it actually goes down. All right, so we activated the preset and we're good to go on that. So and now we added some new barks as well. We do realize that the barks of the actual other EPs, let's go back here. All right, let's go back to our whirly. We do realize that the barks sometime were out of phase. So as you can hear right now, they're not out of phase. They were out of phase before because there was something that we did. We made a mistake on that, and so we corrected that. So all the barks are back in phase.